Welcome back to Hard Hat Chat, everyone. I'm Justin Smith, CEO of Contractor Plus, and joining me, as always, is Gerritt Bake, CEO of Build Pro. Today, we're stepping into a future that sounds like science fiction, but is already showing up on real job sites. If you can build a house with 3D printers, where do the trades go? So here's the big question. And honestly, this one has been floating around job sites, contractor groups, and every trade show hallway for the past couple of years. If 3D printers can build a house now, where in the world do the trades go? Are we walking into a future where masons get replaced by a giant robot that looks like it belongs in a Transformers movie? Or is this just another trend that sounds dramatic but ends up being more of a helper than a takeover?
You know what cracks me up? When people hear 3D printed house, they imagine a printer sitting there quietly spitting out walls while everyone else just stands around sipping lemonade. That's not how job sites work. People think the printer will roll up like a food truck, print a whole house by lunchtime, then drive off into the sunset. Meanwhile, the trades are standing there like, well, I guess we're out of a job. The fear feels dramatic because technology always looks magical from far away.
And the headlines love it. Robots building homes, the future of construction, traditional trades are doomed. All written by people whose closest interaction with construction is when they built a gingerbread house one Christmas, and even that thing collapsed in an hour. The reality is way messier than those headlines suggest.
And let's be brutally honest. The trades already know what happens anytime someone claims a new technology will save time, money, and labor. It never works that cleanly. You know what actually happens? You introduce tech, and suddenly you need skilled people who understand the tech, maintain the tech, troubleshoot the tech, fix the mistakes the tech creates, and somehow finish the job the tech couldn't complete because it wasn't in its parameters.
Exactly. A 3D printed house isn't a house. It's a structure. It's the bones. The bones still need plumbing. They still need electrical. They still need HVAC. They still need finishing. They still need windows, doors, roofing, grading, drainage, waterproofing, insulation in certain areas. Unless that printer also knows how to run PACs, wire a panel, hang drywall, install trim, and set toilets, the trades aren't going anywhere. All the printer did was change who frames the walls.
The fear comes from that idea that once one trade gets replaced, the rest fall like dominoes. But that's not how this works. If anything, 3D printing creates work. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, so let's break it down conversationally. A printer can print a shell faster, right? So instead of a house taking months to reach the ready for trade stage, maybe it takes a few days. That means more houses reach the stage where they need plumbers, electricians, HVAC techs, trim carpenters, flooring guys, roofers. The machine didn't erase the trades, it sped up the pipeline.
And that's the part contractors need to hear without panic. Any new technology that speeds up early stage construction increases the amount of mid stage and late stage work. Think about it. If framing or wall construction becomes faster, that doesn't eliminate electricians. It floods them. Because instead of one house being ready, now 3 are ready. And trades are already stretched thin. They don't need fewer opportunities. They need more skilled hands. Let's talk about that shortage for a second.
Every contractor we know is begging for people. You ask them how many workers they're short, and they'll say somewhere between a few and every position. You could open a job fair with free barbecue and still 3 people show up, and one of them is only there for the food. The idea that robots are taking jobs is hilarious when the trades can't even fill the jobs that exist.
And contractors don't want to fire workers. They want more workers because demand has never been higher. You ever notice no one says, man, construction is slowing down, we might have to let people go? No. Everyone's saying, how do we find more people? How do we train faster? How do we keep up with demand? Technology isn't replacing labor. Technology is trying to cover the gap labor isn't filling.
Here's another angle nobody talks about. A 3D printer isn't going to drive itself to the job site. It's not unloading itself. It's not calibrating itself. It's not fixing itself when something clogs or jams or misprints. You need a crew that understands the machine, understands the material, understands the job. And you need someone who can step in when the machine prints a wall that looks like a soft serve ice cream cone instead of a straight line.
And printing isn't enough. You need the trades to validate everything after the print. Is the structural integrity correct? Are the openings right? Is the layout workable? Does code permit this setup? The printer doesn't negotiate with inspectors, the contractor does. And trust me, no AI model is charming enough to handle a grumpy inspector on a Friday afternoon.
This is where people misunderstand the word automation. Automation in construction doesn't mean fewer humans. It means fewer humans doing the repetitive, exhausting, physically punishing parts of the job. It's the same thing that happened with concrete finishing machines. Instead of 10 guys with trowels killing their backs, you have a machine doing the first pass and the humans doing the finesse. Technology removes suffering, not skill.
And look at roofing nailers. Back in the day, a hammer and nails. Now, nail guns. Did nail guns eliminate roofers? No. They probably saved a million thumbs. You still need the trade. Technology just makes the trade faster, safer, and sometimes more enjoyable.
Here's where I think the real fear comes from. Contractors worry they'll invest 20 years in a skill and one machine will erase their identity. But that's not how trades work. The trades are layered, complex, and deeply human. You can automate the repetitive steps, you can assist the heavy labor, but you can't automate intuition. You can't automate judgment. You can't automate the experience that tells a plumber, this joint is going to leak in 6 months if we don't redo it. A robot doesn't have instincts. Instincts come from mistakes, not programming.
And mistakes are the greatest teacher in the trades. The robot hasn't walked into a nightmare crawl space. The robot hasn't fixed a pipe a handyman butchered. The robot hasn't discovered that someone used duct tape as a permanent solution. The robot hasn't worked in a remodel where nothing is plumb, square, or sane. Half of construction is fixing what someone else did improperly. Unless that 3D printer can time travel and prevent bad decisions from 1984, the trades will always have work.
So the real question isn't will 3D printers replace trades? It's how do trades adapt to a world where the beginning of construction looks different? And honestly, I think the trades adapt better than any industry out there. They've always been forced to. New tools, new codes, new materials, new techniques, new safety rules. The trades evolve constantly because they have no choice.
And if you hand a tradesperson a new technology, they will fear it. They'll test it, break it, rebuild it, optimize it, and make it work better than the manufacturers intended. Give a framer a new saw, he uses it. Give a plumber a new pipe system, he masters it. Give an electrician new diagnostic tools, they become faster and more accurate. Trades don't run from innovation, they sharpen themselves with it.
And here's something crazy to think about. Maybe the future isn't robots replacing humans. Maybe the future is humans who understand robots becoming the most valuable workers on the job site. The person who knows the craft and knows the tech becomes unstoppable.
And that's where next part picks up. Because if the shell of the house is printed faster, what does the new job site look like? What roles emerge? Who becomes essential? And does this change the culture of construction, or does it amplify what already works?
This is going to get interesting because we're talking about the trades stepping into a role they've never held before. Not just builders, but operators. Not just installers, but integrators. And that future is coming quicker than people think.
Grab a drink, stretch your shoulders, we're just warming up. Continues the conversation right after the break. And hey, if you're a contractor looking to scale your business without adding more chaos, check out Contractor Plus. It's the only app you'll ever need to run your business from start to finish. CRM, estimates, invoices, and payments. Everything contractors need to manage jobs, stay organized, and grow their business in one place. Win more work, save time, and run a smarter operation with Contractor Plus. All right, we're back. And now we get into the part that people either underestimate or completely misunderstand. What the job site actually looks like once 3D printing becomes more common. Because the picture people paint in their heads is hilarious. They imagine a giant printer humming quietly while everyone else is out fishing or playing golf. No noise, no shouting, no delays, no subs calling saying they're running late, no missing materials, no supply chain chaos. Just a printer and a dream. Anyone who has ever stepped onto a real job site knows that the only thing that quiet is a job that's been shut down.
Exactly. The fantasy version of construction has never once matched the real version of construction. You can add robots, drones, sensors, AI, anything you want. The one consistent truth is that job sites run on people, decisions, coordination, improvisation, and a lot of coffee. And that's what people don't get. Let's say the 3D printer does print the walls. Great. Now what? The house doesn't magically complete itself. You're still running wiring, plumbing, HVAC, windows, roofing, flooring, siding, finishes. You still need inspections, walkthroughs, problem solving, and the classic, why did they design it like this moment?
And new problems come with new tech. Imagine being the first electrician to run wires through a house printed by a machine that doesn't follow traditional stud spacing. Now the conduit doesn't fit where it normally would. Now you have curves where you normally had flat surfaces. Now you're the one figuring out how to retrofit human craft into machine geometry. That doesn't eliminate the trade. It demands a smarter version of the trade. And here's the thing. Every time a process
Gets faster, something else gets
busy, if printing reduces
framing time from weeks to days, that doesn't eliminate carpenters. It shoves more projects at them. Suddenly, framing crews aren't waiting on lumber deliveries. They're stepping into new projects faster than ever. The volume increases, the pressure increases, the entire pace of the
industry shifts. Think about this. If you shrink the early phase timeline, you compress every schedule that follows it. Plumbers now get called sooner. Electricians get called sooner. HVAC teams get called sooner. And you know what happens next. Contractors realize they don't have enough people to keep up. Now the conversation changes from will robots replace the trades to how do we get more people before we drown in work? That's the real shortage. Not houses, not technology. People, skilled, thinking, problem
solving, adaptable people. You can't print problem solving. You can't download troubleshooting instincts. You can't automate the judgment that comes from 20 years of dealing with structural surprises, material quirks, weird layouts, and customers who swear they turned a water off when they absolutely didn't.
And let's talk about culture on job sites, because that's something machines can't replicate. The teamwork, the mentorship, the real-time learning that happens on ladders, in crawl spaces, on roofs, during those moments where something goes wrong and the crew figures it out together. That's where tradespeople are built. A robot doesn't teach a new apprentice the difference between tight and don't you dare tighten it one more turn or this will snap. Humans do that.
And you know what else robots can't do? Build trust. Customers want someone to explain what's going on. Homeowners don't say, I hope the machine knows what it's doing. They say, hey, can you walk me through this? That human reassurance is part of the service. Trades aren't just mechanical, they're relational.
This is why I don't think 3D printing threatens the trades. It changes the trades. It accelerates construction, but it doesn't eliminate the need for craft. It pushes tradespeople into higher skill roles. The person who used to frame may now run the machine that prints the framing. The person who used to haul heavy loads now programs the system that does it for them. The person who once saw construction as physically punishing might now see it as technically empowering.
And that's huge for hiring. For years, younger workers have looked at the trades and said, I don't want to destroy my body to make a living. But if the industry shifts towards tech-assisted building, suddenly the trades become smarter, cleaner, and more attractive. The tech plus tool belt generation is going to be unstoppable. They'll have mechanical skill and digital fluency, and they'll be able to do things no machine can do alone.
We're going to see new roles emerge too. Printer operators, material calibration specialists, scan-to-print technicians, structural mapping experts, and even safety coordinators trained specifically on robotics integration. These aren't sci-fi titles, they're coming. The trades expand, not shrink.
And here's something people never think about. Every new technology creates an entire industry of troubleshooting. That 3D printer, it's going to jam. It's going to clog. It's going to print something wrong. It's going to misread data. It's going to need maintenance. It's going to cause problems no one has ever seen. And guess who fixes all of that? Not the homeowner, not the manufacturer's hotline, the trades.
Exactly. The person who can both understand the machine and understand building science is going to be priceless. And the more technology grows, the more that hybrid skill becomes rare. If you think trades are valuable now, wait until the job requires reading blueprints and calibration logs. The wages go up, the expectations go up, the recognition goes up.
And let's not forget that real homes aren't cookie cutter labs. Every neighborhood, every climate, every lot, every soil type produces different challenges. You can't write a perfect script for that. A 3D printer doesn't know when the soil is too soft, when the moisture is too high, when the ground shifts, when the design won't work with the drainage. The machine prints, the trades interpret.
This part really sets the stage for where this whole idea leads. The fear that trades disappear is replaced by the reality that trades evolve. And next part, we're going deeper into that evolution, how careers change, how companies reposition themselves, and how the entire future of construction might depend more on people than ever before.
If first part was about fear and second part is about the truth, then part 3 is about the opportunity. And trust me, there's more opportunity in the future of the trades than people realize.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back after a short break. And hey, if you're a contractor looking to scale your business without adding more chaos, check out Contractor Plus. All right, here we go. The final stretch. And this is where we stop talking about fear, stop talking about headlines, and start talking about the real transformation happening in front of us. Because whenever a new technology hits the construction world, people jump straight to panic. They think, well, that's it, we're done for. Machines win, humans lose. But if you look at history, every single time a major innovation shows up, the trades don't shrink, they expand, they shift, they level up.
Think about it. Power tools didn't replace carpenters. Excavators didn't replace laborers. Laser levels didn't replace framers. They all made the job smoother, faster, safer, and honestly, more fun. Nobody misses digging footings with a shovel. Nobody misses pulling nails by hand in 110-degree heat. The evolution of tools has always been about removing the miserable parts of the job while elevating the skilled parts.
And 3D printing is just a continuation of that trajectory. It takes one part of the job, the structural walls, and says, hey, let's do this faster, more consistently, and with less manual strain. But that doesn't finish the home. It doesn't even get close. You still need the heart of the house, the lungs, the veins, the wiring, the systems, everything that makes a building livable.
And here's a twist. Once the basic structure is printed, the demand for the trades actually spikes because the job site enters its busiest phase earlier, and contractors who understand this are going to position themselves at the front of that wave instead of watching it hit them from behind.
So let's talk about opportunity for a second. Imagine being the plumber who knows how to work inside a printed structure. Imagine being the electrician who knows how to route wiring through curved channels instead of studs. Imagine being the carpenter who adapts trim and cabinetry to new, smoother wall surfaces. The expertise becomes specialized. Specialized means harder to replace. Harder to replace means higher value.
You're not competing with the machine. You're becoming the expert who finishes what the machine starts. And you know what that means? You become less replaceable. You stand out more. The companies that embrace tech are going to pay more, grow faster, retain talent longer, and deliver better projects because their teams understand the full ecosystem, not just the hammer and nail part.
There's this misconception that embracing technology means you're somehow betraying old school craftsmanship. But the opposite is true. The craftsman who knows how to merge tradition with innovation is like a superhero. They can do what the old generation did and what the new tools require. That's an unstoppable combination.
Exactly. The future tradesperson is part builder, part technician, part problem solver, part operator. That mix becomes the defining skill set, and it changes how people enter the trades. Suddenly, you're attracting young folks who grew up around tech. They're not intimidated by screens, sensors, automation, calibration. They're used to it. They love it. And when they combine that with hands-on work, You get something powerful, a workforce that's mentally sharp, physically capable, technically fluent, and eager to grow.
And this is why I think the idea of robots replacing tradespeople is backwards. If anything, 3D printing will elevate the trade status, because suddenly, instead of saying, I just build houses, the new generation can say, I operate advanced building technology. I complete the systems that robots can't touch, and I solve complexities that algorithms don't understand.
And that leads to what I think is the most important point of this entire episode. The trades don't disappear, they become more valuable. When the job requires both human instinct and technological understanding, the bar rises, wages rise, respect rises, demand rises. The companies who train their workers for this new reality are going to become the industry leaders, and the workers who embrace it are going to have opportunities that didn't exist before.
Here's the big truth that people need to accept. The house of the future will still need humans. You can't print a wall, but you can't print judgment. You can't print creativity. You can't print the ability to walk into a problem and intuitively know what's wrong. You can't print craftsmanship. You can't print leadership. You can't print adaptability, the foundational skill that every tradesperson has mastered.
And honestly, let's just say it. The complexity of construction keeps increasing. Homes aren't getting simpler, they're getting smarter. More sensors, more systems, more integration, more code requirements, more safety requirements. All of that demands people who know how everything connects. The trades don't become obsolete, they become essential.
And here's the part homeowners don't see. Behind every beautiful finished house is 100 micro decisions the machine could never make. The leveling, the adjustments, the corrections, the unexpected challenges the plans didn't show. And those decisions are made by tradespeople who know the work, who've lived the work, who carry decades of field wisdom that no robot can download.
And to wrap this up, the real fear shouldn't be that robots will replace the trades. The real fear should be that the trades won't step into the leadership role that the future needs from them. Because this next era isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter. It's about embracing the new tools that remove the painful parts of the job while doubling down on the skills machines can't replicate.
So, where do the trades go if 3D printers can build a house? They go forward, they go upward, they go into higher skill, higher pay, higher demand. They become the operators, the integrators, the calibrators, the finishers, the experts who bring human intelligence to machine efficiency.
They go where they've always gone, where the work needs skill, judgment, and craft. The only difference now is the toolbox includes technology that makes the job bigger, not smaller.
And that's the future contractors need to prepare for. Not a world without trades, but a world where trades are the backbone of a new building revolution.
This has been Hard Hat Chat. And if you're listening to this worried about robots stealing your job, trust me, the robots are worried about you figuring out how to fix them.
We'll see you on the next episode. The future is bright, and it's still built by the hands and minds of real people.